For week 3 of Your Mind Matters, we are talking about happiness and positivity. Your baseline level of happiness is a choice. In the psychology of happiness, there's a phenomenon called the Hedonistic Treadmill. What this theory says is that we all have a baseline level of happiness. For me, my baseline level of happiness might be here, while your baseline level of happiness might be right here. Let's say something great and exciting happens. You got the promotion you've been working towards, you get the new car or house you've been saving for. Your level of happiness, that baseline, may momentarily surge, but it will likely always drop back down to your steady baseline over time. The raise in your happiness for something like this on average only lasts 1 to 4 months, depending on the item, until you're chasing that surge again. Interestingly, the same principle applies to difficult or sad events. Most of the time, when people experience a loss or setback, the feelings that accompany that negative event lessen in severity over time. Though life might be altered and your happiness level now dips below that baseline, with time, we step back onto the hedonic treadmill in pursuit of other goals, hopes, and desires to raise above that baseline. You can't always predict the major events that will shape your life, but the good news is you can actually increase your capacity for long-term happiness and raise that individual baseline for happiness. How can you do this? By doing activities that feel meaningful and fulfilling to you. When we do things to help other people, or when we do something to grow as a person or to build a sense of purpose in life, the happiness we experience is less susceptible to the hedonic treadmill or that return to baseline happiness. Researchers have found that this type of happiness stays elevated longer than the short-lived happiness you get from material items such as cars and food, but the combination of the two is what creates resilience. To put this in perspective, let's say you love to golf or you love to do yoga and you feel a sense of personal accomplishment when you practice these activities. Those things actually bring you a lot of joy and happiness. Those are the things that will bring your baseline level of happiness up. So maybe rather than your baseline being here, it's now here. And when you experience those hard times, now you're dipping to here instead of here. And when you have the highs, you're going higher. So your highs are higher and your lows aren't as low. And that's the great thing about raising your baseline level of happiness. Researchers believe that you may be able to choose behaviors and activities that influence as much as 40% of your sense of well-being and happiness. People think happiness is an emotional response facilitated by a set of circumstances as opposed to a choice and shift of perception to awareness. But some of the statistically happiest countries in the world are impoverished. Some of the most notable and peaceful individuals to grace the earth died with only a few cents to their name. The commonality is a sense of purpose, belonging, and love, things you can choose to feel and cultivate, regardless of physical or material circumstances. How you spend your days is how you spend your life. You can raise your baseline happiness by practicing mindfulness, personal growth, goal setting, expressing gratitude, investing in supportive relationships, engaging in acts of selfless service, and by also enjoying the simple and frivolous pleasures in life. This week, we will explore what makes you feel more positive, calm, and reach that elevated state of baseline happiness.